Okay, we're back. We're back. Day 2 of the Healing Compass program enrollment week. We have 4 more days left for you to join us in the Healing Compass program. By this Friday, we are going to close the doors. And again, we're only accepting 35 individuals into this program, into this container, so we can really hold you in really helping you learn how to overcome depression naturally. So yesterday we covered a couple topics and I went into some answers. Today I want to do the same. I think today's topic that has been really coming up in a lot of the feedback that we've been getting and the questions that we've been getting is around this whole notion of microdosing. Um, and I know that it can carry certainly some stigma, as well as it's also more and more in the zeitgeist today. I remember that even 8 years ago, when I first stepped into this space, um, when I was in my deepest, darkest points in my life, dealing with and just like being in the depths of depression. Um, After trying everything and everything out there, antidepressants, SSRIs, at some point I was up to 40 different bottles of supplements on my kitchen counter. And so when you're that depressed and like everything feels like so much energy and it's even like to the point where you're wheeling yourself out of bed, thinking about taking 40 different types of supplements, it's like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, right? And so I was there. I was certainly there. And my heart goes out to each and every one of you that is currently experiencing levels of depression. But I also want to say that I'm sitting here before you, letting you know that there is absolutely hope and knowing that there are possibilities. And so coming back to the topic of microdosing, oftentimes I think what tends to happen when you don't know something and it's a lot of the unknown and it's the fear of the unknown, it's the fear of, what is this? A lot of the narratives and like the societal beliefs of what it is. Oftentimes what happens is that we make it a bigger deal than it really is. And so for the way I coach my clients and my students around microdosing is when you microdose with intention, safety, and in a really spiritually aligned way, it provides a sense of calm, flow, centeredness, and it really enables you and allows you to tap into a quieter mind and a more balanced state. And what it also helps you do is just it quiets all of that noise, right? That the monkey mind or just the different parts of the ego and just noises and voices. It quells all of that and it just returns you back into connecting with your heart and really being able to hear that truth, that inner voice, the true inner voice that's always there to help guide us, always there to protect us, always there to give us the wisdom that we need to learn and that we need to hear. And so microdosing can and may help you gain clarity and reducing that overwhelming mental noise and also giving you the ability to see things as they truly are, right? I think in the world of like 2024 with so much noise and the social media and like, the hyper consumerism and the hyper, um, you know, just, I would just say distractions. Oftentimes it starts to creep into our peripheral and it starts to kind of mess with us in a way that doesn't give us clarity in our lives, or we start comparing ourselves, or we start thinking, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, when actually really returning back to yourself and what it is that you have and being grateful for it, and the simplicity of it all is what is really truly important, right? And so yeah, I think one of the things I would just say around just wrapping up this thought around microdosing is that when you don't know what you don't know, doing in a really like baby step way, and doing it with people that really know what they're doing and like really hold you with your highest in mind for your highest good, and putting aside any of their own agendas out there, can really be so healing, especially when it comes to overcoming depression. And along that line, I will just say, like, in my experiences working with plant medicine and dealing with depression, from my perspective, depression, oftentimes it's a misalignment. It's a misalignment with ourselves. It's a misalignment with our life, with who we truly are. And so what depression can oftentimes really invite is really learning what depression is for us. Like, what is it really telling us? What is it informing us of? What is it teaching us? And perhaps there's a part of us that we've been pretending for so long and playing into a certain avatar that it's no longer in alignment with who we truly are. So the next thing I wanted to touch on is, those of us who we have a busy life, we have a busy schedule, we have a family life, we have all the things, but we're just in this cycle of anxiety and depression and having to pay the bills, having to work, having to maintain a household, having to, pay the rent, right? But I also want to just say that every time you say that I don't have the time, or I don't know, or I don't have enough, you are avoiding stepping into your truth, and you are avoiding taking responsibility. What we have to come to realize and come to the realization is you cannot build a successful life, a successful relationship, a successful business until you take full responsibility over your life, your resources, and your time. So there are people in this world that will never become their best until you become your best. And so what this work provides us, and what's really beautiful about the work that we're doing in the Healing Compass program, is really enabling you and resourcing you on how to step into the best version, the best life for you. Because when you're able to do that, everything else around you falls into place. And you stepping into your life, you're the best version of yourself, you stepping into your truth allows and enables others to do the same. So the change starts with you, right? It starts with me, right? We cannot control anybody else around us, anything. We can control ourselves. And so the inner work, and the work starts with you. It starts with me, right? It starts with us. And I think the other thing I wanted to address too is that because psychedelics, plant medicine, microdosing is becoming more in the zeitgeist, there really is an opportunity to invite sharper discernment into the space. And what I mean by that is, being in the space for a number of years now, I have seen charlatans, I have seen shills that is only serving their own agendas or another agenda that is not yours. And so when you engage with a practitioner, when you engage in a program, you want to be sure to operate with sharp discernment, right? Is this person that is supporting me, is this program that's supporting me for my highest good? That they are not putting any other agenda before you, and it's only for your highest healing. Because when you engage with medicine, with sacred medicine, psychedelics, plant medicine, what have you, we are introducing a whole nother element in here, right? And that's why I say it's not for everyone. Not everybody is ready for it. And I have clients who I've done integration work with, and I have been coaching when their family or their parents force them to go do this, psychedelic assisted treatment. And it's not for anyone else to make the decision other than you. And so we empower you to do that within HCP. And really, what's really beautiful around the Healing Compass program is really meeting you where you're at, right? We have those 12 foundational principles on how to not only heal, but also thrive in today's world, right? What are the things that you need to really, at a foundational basis, to be able to start enabling your body to heal? And when your body is healing, then how do we get you to the state where you're thriving, right? Where you're more in alignment with your life. And so coming into the program, you might not be ready for microdosing, for example. And if you're not, that's okay. Let's work on the nutrition. Let's work on detox. Let's work on parasite cleansing. Let's work on your sleep, right? Let's work on stress management. How do we reduce the stress in your life? How do we ensure that you're having a healthy digestion? How do we reduce that inflammation in your body so it enables your body and it gives your body a fighting chance to start healing, instead of bringing more toxic load and overburdening the body? And then constantly being in that cycle, right? Constantly being in that cycle. And so what comes through is really the saying of, what got you here won't get you there, right? Who were you being that got you where you are now? And who do you need to be in order to go where you want to go next? So the invitation is, let go of that which does not serve you and be open to the things differently, to doing the things differently to achieve different results, right? Because here's the thing is, our nervous system and our brain, it defaults into what is familiar, right? There's the saying of, we would rather choose rather choose a familiar hell than an unfamiliar heaven. And so what happens is, when we are in a state of feeling depressed, when we are low energy and fatigued, it is expensive energy to do something different. But in order to heal, you have to be able to be willing to do something different. And so the invitation here is really summoning into the depths of you to draw that energy to do something differently. so that you can achieve results, right? The definition of insanity, we know, is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. But if you want different results, then that means you have to start taking different action. And it comes down to taking action. Even as tired and fatigued and just like tapped out you are in life. That is why we break down step-by-step process and protocols so that honoring that expensive energy that you have, the little energy that you have left, putting you into a roadmap and giving you the map on how to and where to expend your energy. Right? I remember when I was so depressed and I was like out of hope and there was just no solutions out there for me. I've exhausted all of my research. I just remember when I was just even researching on the web and just so much contradictory information. Then you better believe, yeah, there's going to be contradictory information out there because it's set up for you to continue to be in this cycle. Right? Because if you break out the cycle, guess what? You're no longer going to be the reoccurring customer. You're no longer going to be the person filling that prescription again. Think about it, right? If we're dealing with this like trillion-dollar octopus tentacle of, for example, pharmaceutical companies, and they have a percent, even a, let's just say even a fractional percent of that spend to marketing. They are churning out the materials, right? To make sure you get in this cycle of a repeated customer and retaining you over and over and over again for your lifetime, right? That is what they're measuring. They're measuring the lifetime value of you as their customer. So you have to be so sharp. You have to be so aware. But how can you do that when you are in a state of depression? How can you do that when you are fatigued? How can you do that when you have brain fog? So you get stuck in this loop, you get stuck in this cycle. Even as simple as Facebook groups out there. You know, I've been studying these Facebook groups with, you know, just even depression. And just the slight hint of something that is outside of what is the conventional, you automatically get banned. You automatically get kicked out of the group. Even when they know something works, they still kick you out, right? Why? Because you're a number in that group. They're selling that number against whatever else agenda that they're working with, right? So, and sometimes, you know, it's not far-fetched to think who's also behind those Facebook groups, who is behind, who are the admins behind those Facebook groups or the Reddit subreddit groups, what have you, right? So you have to be so careful not to get stuck in those echo chambers, right? You got to be able to eject and break free from that if what you desire is to get out of your current state, right? But it takes courage, it takes conviction, it takes action. What got you here won't get you there. The other thing I want to touch on today before we go into our Q&A is stop taking constructive criticism from someone who hasn't constructed anything. It's so easy to just click the follow button to follow that person because that person's carrying an Hermes purse and signaling the wealth or signaling the luxury life whatever that is, right? And take into fact that, you know, here in Miami, where I'm currently at right now, the interesting thing is having some relationship with bankers and them informing me of pretty much everyone along the beach of Miami are in crazy amounts of debt, driving the luxurious car and renting the luxurious apartment on the beach, right? So we don't really know what is behind the lens of people's lives. And so the comparison is the thief of joy. So we want to be so careful and so discerning around those things, right? And somebody signaling doesn't mean that they have done their inner work, right? It can mean that they're hiding behind something that really behind that is a lot of insecurities, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, right? You know, even talking about, you know, plastic surgery, right? In my perspective, plastic surgery is also a signaling of mental illness. It's a signaling of mental conditions. Like, why can we not fully accept the way we truly are, as we are, as nature has intended, right? And why is it that there's this constant chasing of the Joneses, or I got to be more this, or I got to be more that, and it's just this endless chase to like the void, right? What fulfillment does it get you? What true fulfillment? And yes, maybe there's an instant gratification aspect to it, but then there's the continual chase of it versus being so steadfast in yourself. And knowing that, connecting with and remembering with who you truly are, and knowing that that divinity and that God out there is also within you, and how powerful you truly are, and stepping into that power and taking the onus and owning who you are, how you are, what you are, who you are, is so incredibly powerful, as it also liberates others to do the same for themselves. So stop taking constructive criticism from those that haven't walked the walk. They haven't constructed anything. They haven't done the inner work. So think about it, right? Are you going to let people who has done nothing have influence over you? Isn't it more important that you are getting out there and doing whatever it takes to help yourself so you can help others? And the fact of the matter is, you are doing something, anything, and that's all that matters, right? Anyone who says to undermine that is irrelevant, and especially when they're sitting back judging you on your moves when they have yet to even take their first step, right? So they're just, you're trying to get out of your current situation, and they're just poking at you and criticizing you and judging you when you're the one who's actually taking the action and taking those first steps, right? So if we want to be inspired by others, it's to be inspired by those who are taking steps, right? Become the producer rather than the consumer. And we live in a very hyper-consumerism society today. So if you're in a constant state of consuming, you are a consumer, versus being in the constant state of producing, creating, right? It's vulnerable, it's different, but you have a lot to offer in this world. And the world needs us. The world needs those that have that light within us. And oftentimes what also depression is teaching us is that it's time to stop dimming our light. Stop dimming your light. And all of the input that the world in this hyper-consumerism society, what is happening is it's inviting us to keep consuming. And when we keep consuming, we're disconnecting ourselves. We're disconnecting ourselves from our body. We're disconnecting ourselves from our inner truth, from that inner knowing and that inner wisdom. And so bringing it back to the Healing Compass program, we are here to empower you to get back in touch with that inner intelligence, honoring that inner wisdom. And it's not just talk therapy. There are components of that. We will talk through your experiences, but we also know that you can talk until your face is blue, but if your body is in constant inflammation and you're eating fake foods, chemicals, ingesting all of that in your body, guess what? You can talk when the face is blue, but you're not really able to heal, right? Your body's not able to heal. So the idea is resourcing you, empowering you with all of these tools so that you can finally start to heal. You can feel more resourced and you can feel more self-sufficient, that you're not reliant on the system or a practitioner or anybody else. You're able to self-empower. You're able to be self-sufficient. So, okay. Let's dive into some of the questions that we've been getting for the Healing Compass program. The first question is, how will this program fit into my busy schedule? So, right, we talked about this, like, I don't have the time, or I don't know, or I don't have enough, right? And so we understand that there are demands in our life, work-wise and personal life. And so the Healing Compass program is designed with you in mind, right? And with a packed schedule in mind. So many of the participants that have been in my private practice are high performers. They lead very demanding lives, very demanding schedules. Oftentimes they're executives, CEOs, entrepreneurs, doctors, attorneys, their parents on top of all of that. And let me just say that if they can find the time to prioritize their health and their well-being, which they do, so can you. And so the program is designed to fit even into the busiest lives. And if you can dedicate around 30 to 60 minutes a day for, let's say, your nutrition or your supplements or meal prep, right? That's enough to create meaningful transformation to start healing your body and your mind. And so we understand the importance of efficiency, and we're here to guide you on how to make the most of your time that you have available. So in our approach, we offer the live modules, which are going to be recorded. It allows you to access it at any given time at your convenience. You know, you can review that on a lunch break, after hours, or on the weekends. Our group calls will be designed to help you start implementing the program more effectively. We encourage active participation so that it ensures that you get the most out of the program. And once the enrollment closes, we're going to issue the call schedule to accommodate as many participants as possible. And so this approach allows you to plan ahead and integrate the calls into your schedule. We also have a private community for our members only that's available 24/7. It lets you engage, ask questions, share any insights whenever you have a free moment. And our tools, templates, protocols are designed to integrate seamlessly into your daily routine, making it easier for you to implement those changes without overhauling your entire schedule. So this flexibility is there to ensure that you can fully engage with the program and make progress on your healing journey. So it's going to take action, right? And we're going to hold your hand and baby step you into doing so. Okay, the other question is, what if it doesn't work? So let me just say that myself and my team are here committed to using every tool, strategy in our arsenal to support your transformation and your healing process in the Healing Compass program. And it's rare for someone to go through this deep process of nourishment, of detox, of reducing that inflammation in your body and cleaning up the environment around you without experiencing noticeable improvements for their body, their mind, their soul, and their spirit. And so while we cannot guarantee specific results because we know that everyone's journey is unique, and the individual outcome depends on many factors, myself and my team are here to give you our full dedication and personalized attention to guide you towards your goal. And as you can see from many of our testimonials on our page, we just don't give up on anyone, right? But I will say that I'm here and my team is here to meet you at the center line, but it also requires you to meet us at the center line too, because we cannot do the work for you. You have to be able and willing to do the work for yourself. And so this program, right, it's a collaboration. And with your commitment, we are going to work together to create meaningful shifts for your mental health and your overall well-being. Okay. All right. The next question, how does participation work? So the participation in the Healing Compass program begins with that initial fee that covers the first 6 months of access. And after those first 6 months, if you decide you want to continue your journey with us, or you like to choose to maintain the community participation component, we are offering a one-time, this one-time only, the lowest offer monthly that we ever had. And I invite you to check up our page for all of that information. And this is what allows you to stay connected and continue to benefit from ongoing support from the community. And like I said, this rate is only offered this one time for this one cohort this year, and it will increase in the future. The digital course materials that come with HCP will be made available through a dedicated platform, and you will have lifetime access to it. And your community engagement will take place in that private group and provide a more supportive, intimate space to connect with others on a similar path. All right. The other thing that I will address is, I know some of you may not feel so resourced, right? Like, I don't have enough money. I have all the bills I have to pay and all that. But I will say that the transformation happens in the transaction, right? And what I mean by that is you have to have some skin in the game too, right? Because I'm giving you my skin in the game as well. And so when there are students that we have found in the past, when they don't have skin in the game, it's harder for them to it's just harder to get the best out of them, right? Because there's no skin in the game. And so the transaction enables us to become our best self both ways, and deliver the value that we are offering. So we do have a scholarship program. I will say that it is available, and we will make some considerations, but we have made the Healing Compass program specifically to be more accessible, right? We have 2 payment plans. There's one that is a monthly, and then the one is pay in full. And so we have taken all these things into consideration. And so knowing that we need to start taking different action to get different results is really important when you are considering coming into this program. Now, I will say I don't ever want anyone to be destitute or like, you know, this is my last dollar that I have to spend. If I spend it, I'm going to become homeless. Obviously, I don't want you to do that. But if you have the funds, I will invite you to really sit with, if I take different actions, then different results will follow. Okay? Plus, when you enter into this program, you'll see that there's going to be these shifts that we need to adjust in your life. And part of these shifts are changing the foods that you're eating, you know, buying better filters for your water, being on certain supplements if you're ready for that, right? And if you're ready for detox, for example, we oftentimes say budget around anywhere between 100 to 350 a month to start, because you will need those supplements to help you with, for example, the detox process. So going into this next question is, what will a detox protocol entail? So the detox protocol in the Healing Compass program, it goes beyond just a standard cleanse. It's a really comprehensive, cutting edge approach that's really designed to elevate your health on every level. And we cover everything from toxin binders and gut healing strategies to advanced metal, heavy metal, and chemical cleanses, cleaning all that gunk out of your body, along with how to remineralize your body. And so, you know, rest assured that a lot of these recommendations that we've collected and that we've put together comes with extensive training, right? Drawing upon a decade of working with holistic practitioners, various healing shamans, regenerative medical doctors, healers, detox specialists. And so you'll have the guidance you need to navigate this process with a lot of confidence. And again, this is just baseline, right? This is the baseline, the fundamental thing, one of the fundamental principles you need to start to heal your body. So, like I said, in terms of the supplement cost, right? Setting aside, I said between 1 to 350. If you're going to start thinking about the detoxing and the parasite cleanses, it's going to be more approximately $300 to $500 per month for the supplements for the program. And it just depends on your specific needs and really what resonates in your healing process. Some people aren't ready for the detox process. So, you know, they just want to focus on the nutrition. So we can do that. And it also depends on, like, financially, budget wise, what you can, you know, how you can feel resourced during this time of healing. Okay. The other thing I'll say is that, keep in mind that your protocol, right? Wherever you enter in the 12 foundational principles, we may need to adjust based upon your unique journey and your unique needs. So, you know, again, it's going to be oftentimes, here's the roadmap, but along the way, we're going to A/B test to see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, ultimately getting you back in touch with your body, allowing that innate intelligence and wisdom, and also seeing how your body is reacting to certain things. Okay. All right. The next question is, how is Healing Compass program different from traditional therapy and other group coaching programs? Okay. 1 second. So unlike one-on-one therapy or other conventional group coaching programs or masterminds, the Healing Compass program offers a comprehensive and integrative approach. So our program provides one, practical tools for you to immediately implement and use on a practical level, and it's baby stepping, right? Two, an easy to follow template. Three, step-by-step natural healing protocols. Four, a supportive community of like-minded individuals. And five, learning about intentional usage of plant medicine for healing. And what truly sets us apart is our revolutionary and groundbreaking approach that cannot be found anywhere else. We've looked, and there's truly nothing else like that out there. So our program is built on a unique set of principles designed to fully support you on your healing journey. This is structured, multifaceted approach really ensures that we're addressing depression from all angles and giving you the best chance at sustainable, lasting, natural healing. Okay, we have a few minutes left, and so I'll address 2 more questions here. So the next question is, can natural methods really be effective for treating depression? The answer is yes. Our program uses natural methods supported by evidence, which have shown great results. We have ran this process through hundreds of our clients and our students. And especially when you combine it with the accountability, the community, the support that we provide. And so while results can vary, and obviously we can't make any guarantees, we have seen clients improve their depression in less than 2 months' time. And as far as the range of 1 to 3 months, I mean, that's how quick we're seeing people shift out of that depressed state. Okay, last question. I've tried self-help books and asked before, how is HCP different? Okay, there's a couple things I want to touch here. First, let's go into the apps. So oftentimes you will see with apps that they're monitoring you with smart devices. There's the Bluetooth, there's, like the sleep monitor and all of that. And, I have seen other holistic practitioners integrate that as part of their, their offerings. But I will just say that it can be very problematic because on a number of levels. There's a privacy concern, and then there's also the EMF concern. So EMF, electromagnetic frequency or electromagnetic field, is studied, and there's research out there, and you can do a quick Google search and look up these studies. We have also linked one of the studies in our HCP page where you can go and see that for yourself. Electromagnetic frequency is incredibly problematic on a multitude level. First of all, it breaks down the membranes of the cells in your body. For men, it decreases testosterone in your body. And if you take the Starling statistic, or it's something around like 70% of American households have mold in their house, right? And mold, as a lot of us know, is incredibly problematic. I mean, I'm here in Miami and there's plentiful, bountiful amounts of mold, which can be incredibly negatively impactful on your health and on your body, and creates all types of diseases and all that stuff. Not to mention is one of the parasite's favorite things to mop up in your body, which also comes at a high cost. When you are in an environment of mold and you have EMF, that EMF can increase the growth of mold in your environment and also in your body. Right. So that is where the detox comes in. That is where, the parasite cleanses come in too. So I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of parasites today, but we'll put a pin on that and we can address that later on this week. But going back to, these apps, right, that's using smart devices and Bluetooth and EMF. And so the EMF is it's coming out of the Bluetooth devices, and it's inevitably harming your body, especially when you sleep. And it can actually decrease the quality of your sleep as well. So I'll give you an example. When I was in my most depressed state, I was sleeping on I don't know if I can use the name of the brand, but it's a brand that it touts the ability to track the quality of your sleep. You can adjust the bed in terms of the softness of the bed, to how hard you want it, the whole gamut. Like I spent a good amount of money on that. Well, if you go out and you buy an EMF meter, which you can easily buy on Amazon, when I was at my most depressed state, I felt, and I didn't even attribute this at that time or understand that there was a correlation. I felt like there was an invisible hand pinning me against my bed, and I couldn't get out from underneath it, nor could I get myself up from bed. And so later on, when I was doing all of this research and this whole body of studies and research coming out around EMF, I went out, I bought an EMF meter, and I put it over my bed. Sure enough, that EMF meter, it goes from green, orange, yellow to red, something like that. But anyway, the point is, I put the EMF meter over my bed, and the thing shot up it went from green in less than a second to the highest red. And it was showing me, it was just like off the charts of EMF in my bedroom, especially over my bed. And let me tell you, when I unplugged the bed and the EMF meter cooled down to green, that night I had the best sleep ever. And it was so interesting, right? And so here are the invisible forces that are at play here, right? That we need to understand, that we need to recognize. And all of this is what we resource you and help you understand and help you learn in the Healing Compass program. So this is why, bringing back to the apps, this is why the apps can be very problematic, especially with the smart devices. So, yeah, how is HCP different? So HCP goes beyond just the generic advice. You are going to get personalized guidance, accountability, a supportive community. These elements are oftentimes missing from these self-help resources. And our structured approach ensures that you're not just consuming the information, but actively implementing those changes, which is why we have that 6-month container, so that every single month we're checking in and seeing how the implementation is going, right? Because this is a shift. It's a shift in the lifestyle, because If you want a different result, it requires different actions. Okay. So that is the time we have for today. And I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for joining us today on this live. We are going to, we're also going to share this on our YouTube channel as well. So if you are not in the Healing Compass Program Facebook groups, you also can go onto YouTube, and we'll also share a link via our Instagram pages on Psychable, as well as my own personal page. And yeah, today is day 2 of our open enrollment week for Healing Compass Program. And the open enrollment week is basically going to be from yesterday to Friday is the time you can enroll and register and join our program. Only in these 5 days. And we only have 35 spots that we will offer with the specific cohort. And once these spots are filled, that is it. Okay, because we want to give our fullest time, our attention, our resources for and to this group. So if any of this resonates with you and it may sound like new or different information, that's okay. I invite you to sit with it. I invite you to pray about it. I invite you to meditate on it and be in silence and see if this is something that truly can be supportive to you. I pray that this message today that we're sharing is received by the person that really needs to hear it, because you are the reason why we created the Healing Compass Program. So we will end here today. I will see you all again tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Be well and be blessed. Take care. Bye-bye.